Hey, what is up, Internet? Kyle here, Slapshot Toys. Kind of doing a little bit of a quarantine hunt here. So just right off the bat, this isn't a true hunt. I'm actually completely out of almond milk, so I have to go to the store and get it. And as you can see here, I am outside one of my local Targets. And if I'm going to a Target, I'm going to go look in the toy aisle, especially now that I'm looking for these McFarlane Batman figures. And you know what? It's been so long, just to try to get a sense of normalcy, I'm going to film it and just take you guys along and see if they have any of these McFarlane Batman figures. But, you know, just right off the bat, I'm going to stay as safe as I can. I have my mask right here. I'll be wearing that. I'm going to practice social distancing, but I just want to feel somewhat normal, so I'm going to go look for some toys. All right, so we're all masked up. I'm kind of curious on how much this actually muffles the sound of the recording. But we're all masked up, so we're going to go in, so we'll see you guys inside. All right, so here we are in the Batman section. Like I said, I'm not going to touch anything, but I wanted to see what they have. So they have the animated series, Batman. Looks like they have one of the Detective Comics 1000 Batman, another animated series back there, Superman, and then Green Lantern back there. And they have quite a bit of the Missions Batman things. Trying to think, I don't see anything else from the McFarlane line around here, but quite a bit of really cool Batman stuff. Actually really kind of like this 2-pack of King Shark and Batman. That looks really freaking cool. I do have one of the Flash articulated and Batman articulated 12-inch figures. Those look pretty freaking cool. But yeah, I think kind of just seeing what they have here in the Batman section, probably gonna pick up one of these animated series Batman. I just wish I could kind of really touch one and see which one has the best paint job, but I'm not going to do that because I'm not going to touch stuff I'm not going to buy. So yeah, trying to be safe throughout all this, and yeah, this is what they have. All right, so obviously I am done with Target. I did pick up a couple of things. I'll show that to you here in just a second, but first I wanted to show you this, because one thing I've been hunting for this entire quarantine that I have been craving, the wife and I both have, is freaking Chick-fil-A. And every freaking time we try to go to the one near our house, this is what it looks like. So definitely wish me luck with this, and hopefully it goes fairly quickly, because I'm getting freaking Chick-fil-A today. I don't know if you guys will be able to see this, but so there's actually a street light down there to turn into this shopping complex. The line for Chick-fil-A goes all the way down there and onto the main road. I don't know if I'm going to try to brave this line or not. I don't know. We'll see. I may try to go. I just don't know how I'm going to get into it. That means I'm literally going to have to drive all the way around the shopping complex, go all the way out to the main road, and then come in that way, I think. I really don't know. I don't want to be like the jackass that just tries to cut by coming in the other line. I try to follow rules too much. Maybe I shouldn't. So like I was saying, I did go all the way around the building. So yeah, we're still on the main road, and this is the line in front of us. So it is right now exactly 1 o'clock. So I'll time this and see how long it takes us to get our Chick-fil-A, but I'm gonna try to do it. So we've at least made it to the front entrance of Chick-fil-A, and only 8 minutes. So honestly, not that bad for as bad as the line looked. It was definitely kind of the bark looked worse than the bite, or sounded worse than the bite, because this really hasn't taken that long to get through this line at all. Update number 3. It is 1:15, we just ordered, so now we are actually in the actual line to get our food. I mean, for as bad as this looked, honestly, 15 minutes isn't that bad. All right, so we're home. So the things I'm sure you guys are super interested in. Got our Chick-fil-A. It took about 20 minutes, so honestly not that bad. And I got my almond milk, which I'm sure you guys are all extremely excited about. This is the super limited edition, the unsweet vanilla. So I don't have any sugar or anything in it, so yeah. My pickup from Target. So we are obviously back home and in the basement, and thanks for putting up with my little stupidity there with the Chick-fil-A and almond milk situation. I know you guys don't care about that at all, but I was having a little bit of fun with the video. But now to show you what I actually did pick up at Target. First thing I did pick up is 1917 on 4K Blu-ray. This is one of my all-time favorite movies. I saw it twice when we were still allowed to go to theaters, opening weekend. Absolutely loved it. If you guys like war movies, or if you just love beautiful cinematography, this movie, I cannot recommend it enough. It is simply that freaking amazing. And then this was actually delivered today. I wasn't anticipating it coming, but the mailman delivered my copy of Detective Comics Volume 3. Really like this series. I actually like it a lot better than the normal Batman run right now by Tom King. But yeah, Detective Comics Volume 3. Got that in the mail. And then the main thing, which you guys saw me hunting for, I did pick up the animated series McFarlane
McFarlane Batman. Super excited to crack this open and take a look. If you guys watched my stream from last week, I actually picked up the Detective Comics 1000 Batman. Fell in love with this figure as soon as I opened it up. This thing is amazing, so I wanted to get more into the line, and obviously this is the next one I picked up. I figured go ahead, open this up, and show you what the figure looks like. So really kind of funny thing just happened. So I'm sitting here, I'm unboxing the animated series Batman, and the wife comes down with an Amazon package. I'm not expecting anything, but she says I got something in the mail, and it turns out the McFarlane Nightwing that I ordered wasn't supposed to be here until next week, actually showed up today. So might as well go ahead, open this guy up, and we'll include him in the video as well. So here we have our 3 McFarlane Batman figures unboxed. And if you guys watched my live stream where I actually unboxed the Detective Comics Batman, you know I absolutely fell in love with the figure, from the articulation to the detailing, just everything about him I loved. And I can honestly say that these other 2 figures definitely do not disappoint and are on the exact same level as the Detective Comics Batman. So the first thing I want to show you guys that you get with these figures is a really cool little addition, I think. It's a little trading card that you get with all these figures that depict the artwork that the figure is based on. So here we have the cover to Detective Comics issue 1000. We obviously have a picture of the animated series Batman, and then we have the cover for, I believe this was volume 1, issue 1 of the Nightwing New 52 series. And yeah, just a cool little addition to kind of give a nice little throwback to the 90s collecting era. And on the back of these cards, they do have the stats for each of the characters. So the first figure we're going to take a look at is going to be the Detective Comics Batman. Now, all the DC characters, they do come with this little circular base. Not really a whole lot going on, but it does just say DC there, and it does have the foot peg kind of right there as well. Honestly, this is just a nice little addition. I would have liked maybe to actually have something specific to the character, but you know, the fact that it just says DC is perfectly fine for the price point of these figures. But honestly, looking at the detailing on these things, these look immaculate. I love the way that they did this molded cape. I think it looks gorgeous. I love that really dark navy blue that they have in the coloring of this Batman. Instead of just the black and gray, we have that really nice blue shade. I think it looks very cool. Love the bat symbol there. One of the things I really like is this texturing all throughout the suit. They just put so many really cool little details. And then I think the other thing I absolutely love about this is the cape. This is like that really nice molded rubber. It looks gorgeous. I really kind of just feel like the cape and the suit and everything just make this figure, I don't know, just stand out so incredibly well. And like I said there with the cowl, it just looks absolutely gorgeous. And I think the piece I'm most impressed with is the articulation. I know with McFarlane, you're always going to get amazing sculpts. His kind of idea has always been you can't get good articulation if you want good sculpts, but he's finally, I think, figured out a way to do both. Very evident with this figure. And so, I mean, the motion that this thing has is fantastic. Just kind of looking at the head motion, really good range of motion all throughout there. The arms, one thing I really like is this rubber cape does, even though it's molded over the shoulders, it moves quite a bit, so it gives a lot of play, and you get some fantastic motion there. There's even like butterfly joints here in the armpit. You got cuts here at the bicep. The elbow has a double joint that looks fantastic and has a great range of motion. Even at the abdomen, you get plenty of pivots, can lean back, lean forward, can rotate, just a lot of awesome posing abilities. And then even like the legs, I mean, he can do the full freaking splits, absolutely no problem. There's a cut up here at the thigh, so that does rotate. And then, I mean, you get the double jointed knees. This one was a little bit stiff just with the paint, which is kind of common with McFarlane figures, but once I got it loosened up, I mean, great range of motion there. And probably the only weakest part would be the feet. It does hinge up and down, and there's really not ankle pivot, but there is that kind of ankle rocker, as you can kind of see there. And then the feet do rotate as well. So the next figure we're gonna take a look at is gonna be the animated series Batman, and as you can tell here, it looks like it just jumped off an animation cell and into physical form. This thing looks fantastic with all the detailing and just geometry that they got of the aesthetics of the animated series Batman. The head and everything looks really, really nice. Once again, they use that really nice rubber cape that goes over the shoulders. I think that looks fantastic. And then you have the really nice detail there in the belt. The only thing with this figure is because the legs are so skinny, it is kind of hard to get to stand on its own. So I've been having a lot of issues with like the weight of the top half of the figure that just wants to topple over. So you pretty much have to use a stand with this guy. But I mean, overall, just everything looks really, really freaking cool, and it definitely looks like the animated series Batman. And again, you get some really nice articulation there in the arms. You get the cut. Really, the only kind of difference with this one is on the elbow joint. Since you do get the big gauntlet there in the big forearm, the little bit more stylized forearm, it doesn't go nearly as far, and it is just that single joint right there. But as far as everything else, it's pretty much the exact same. Some really nice leg movement. You get the double jointed knees that go even further than the Detective Comics one, and you do get the toe articulation, and like I said, probably the weakest point is the foot articulation. And the last figure we're gonna take a look at is gonna be the Nightwing, and honestly, as much as I love the Detective Comics, I think this may be my favorite figure out of the three, and one of the main reasons is this immaculate face sculpt. The sculpting and paintwork in the hair and mask alone are phenomenal. I mean, just take a look at all the individual strands and everything that are sculpted out there. The mask just looks gorgeous, and I love this metallic sky blue that they use. It just, I don't know, it pops so freaking well in this figure. The eyes look awesome. This is the perfect Nightwing kind of face, like pose, like not really pose, but like showing very little emotion. I just absolutely love this. And then coming down here, you have that really nice hawk there on his chest. You get some really nice kind of sparkle and metallic gray black there on the actual suit. Just you get all this detailing all throughout the arms and the suit. Come down the legs, you get some more of the detailing, everything down here. It's more of that blue there on the boots. I don't know, I just love the way that this figure looks. This is one of my favorite like 6-inch scale figures. And as far as the articulation, it's about the exact same on the other two. Maybe just a little bit better since you don't have the cape. It goes out quite a bit. You have the same cut here at the bicep, so that works really well. Again, you get the double jointed elbows, so again you get some really nice range of motion there. I did forget to show you on the back, you do have two little clips to hold his two batons. Abdomen about the same, does rotate front and back, and then rotates like so. Legs, I don't know really why, but for some strange reason, they don't go out as far as the Detective Comics Batman. So a little bit limited there as opposed to the other two figures, but obviously still a pretty decent range of motion. And then the double jointed knee, fantastic right there. And then he does have the toe articulation. It does rotate, and he does have that kind of ankle rocker, not really a true ankle pivot. And now it's time for me to be a little bit critical of these figures, and that comes down to the accessories, which I honestly think are absolute crap. I don't like them at all. I can't believe McFarlane, with how much detail that they put in these figures, put out accessories like this. And I'll kind of show you what I'm talking about. So with the Detective Comics Batman, we get this grappling gun. The grappling gun doesn't look too terribly bad. I mean, there's not a whole lot of detail there, but I mean, there's at least some mechanics and stuff sculpted out. Then you just get this really thick, weird plastic twirl with the hook there at the end that I guess they try to do some little detail, and it just looks okay. But honestly, for, I know the price point's only $20, but I expect something a little bit more quality and a little bit more detail, especially coming from McFarlane Toys. This just looks awful. But a biggest offender is this freaking batarang. This is just a plastic, not even really a bat. I mean, I guess that's kind of a bat shape, but there's no detailing. It's just a plastic little piece that, I don't know, this is awful. Like, I mean, it's so thick, it doesn't even fit in Batman's hand. It looks terrible. Like, this looks like it should be along with, like, I don't know, a $5 figure. This is just unacceptable in kind of my opinion with this accessories. Same with Nightwing's batons. I don't know, like that just looks terrible. They're so out of scale. They're so freaking thick. It doesn't look good, him holding them. I don't know. It lacks so much detail, and I don't know why, with McFarlane being as particular as he is with his figures, why they're sending these with these crappy accessories. And then with the animated series Batman, we actually get at least a decently sculpted one. So this is the grappling gun we get with the animated series, and this one actually fits in the tone and look of the animated series. We get some nice red, we get the gray on the actual hook. This looks fairly decent. We are actually given two hands to hold the grappling hook, which are very, very nice, and I mean, are sculpted fine. But then, guess what we get with this Batman as well? The same, well, not even the same, because it doesn't have the ears. This piece of black plastic. So I am not thrilled at all with these accessories. This is definitely the weakest part of these figures. I really feel like McFarlane needs to step up the accessory game just a little bit with this Batman line. And the other, I guess, accessory, quote unquote, that comes with Nightwing is this piece, build a piece to a Batmobile. So I guess McFarlane's trying to do build a figure type things. But honestly, this feels super hollow, like it's just hollow plastic. It feels super cheap. The detailing on it's fine, but this feels like something out of a Happy Meal. It doesn't feel like a premium, solid quality option. And the other weird thing is Nightwing, because it comes with this piece and the other two figures that come with the two pieces to complete the Batmobile, the Batman Who Laughs and Batgirl, they're $5 more than the regular figures. So like, not only are they giving you this kind of cheap, I don't know, build a figure, even though it's not a real figure, they're charging you more to do it, which, obviously Legends and things like that don't do. So I don't really see the point in this all that much. I would have much rather seen an actual Build-A-Figure of a big character like Bane, Solomon Grundy, Killer Croc, something along those lines, instead of just a cheap Batmobile. And I just wanted to give a quick scale comparison, since these are 7-inch scale figures, not your traditional 6. So what we have here is the DC Direct Animated Series and the DC Direct Designer Series Greg Capullo 0 Year Batman. And as you can tell, all these figures are quite a bit taller. The 0 Year doesn't look too terribly bad. It is a little bit shorter, but since it is kind of so, I don't know, a little bit wider of a figure, it looks like it could fit in with the Nightwing and this Detective Comics one, but obviously the Animated Series one is quite a bit smaller. But just wanted you guys to be aware that this scale is a little bit larger than most 6-inch figures. So that is going to do it for my little hunt / mini review of these McFarlane Batman figures. And like I said throughout this video, I love this line. I honestly think that right now, for this price point, there is not a better DC line out. Everything from the sculpting to the just articulation to the kind of presence that these figures have, I think for $20, you cannot beat it. I obviously have some major issues with the upcharge of a kind of extremely cheap Build-A-Figure piece, which isn't even a Build-A-Figure, and I have extreme issues with the accessories. I don't usually display my figures with a whole lot of accessories and types of things like that, so for me, it's not that big of a deal. I just want you to be aware that they are very cheap and just awful. But if you just want a phenomenal looking Batman piece that you can get in some really cool poses, you can't beat this. You really can't. Same with the Nightwing and the animated series. Like, they are fantastic figures. They're easy to find. I honestly cannot recommend them enough. When McFarlane released that they were doing Batman and DC figures, I was super nervous because at that point, I had just seen the color tops. And while I love those Spawn figures, they're statues. They have no points of articulation. They're just super detailed plastic statues for $20, which is fine. I have no issue with that. I wasn't into the Fortnite stuff, so I didn't know how good those figures were, and I'm super happy that McFarlane finally figured out how to do amazing articulation and sculpt. Hopefully he can figure out the accessory stuff, which we know he can because we see it in other figures, but hopefully he starts doing it with the Batman figures. But once again, that is going to do it for me tonight. I want to thank you guys so much for checking out this video. If you guys like the video, give it a big thumbs up. Let me know in the comments what you think of this McFarlane line. Is this something that you guys are collecting? Is it something that you guys are looking for? I'd love to hear from you guys. If you're new to the channel, go ahead, subscribe. That way I don't miss on any future content, including more unboxings of these bad boys, Hot Toys, Legos, all sorts of fun stuff. I've been doing a lot of videos here recently and plan to be doing a lot more during this quarantine. So definitely subscribe. And once again, that's going to do it for me. Thank you guys so much, and I'll catch you guys later. See ya!